In this video, I'm going to show you how to proportion a recipe to find the per serving amount of every ingredient. So in your classwork, you'll find this first worksheet um, to do that. I'm going to show you on the video how to do it. So this recipe, if you look at the picture, it shows some blueberries here, but it's the basic buttermilk muffin recipe. And so the only thing that we really are going to care about here right now is the ingredients that they have listed. And so in the worksheet that is right underneath the recipe, we're going to go down and fill in the amounts. And so I'm going to work with you on that. So if you have that recipe, we're going to look back at the amount, and I'm not going to flip back and forth here, but I'll show you. So for flour, for example, we see that in the recipe it says 2 1/4 cups of flour, right there, 2 1/4 cups. So down here, I'm going to write in 2 1/4 cups. Now, 2 1/4 is, as a decimal, the same as 2.25. So if I take 1 divided by 4 on a calculator, you're going to get 0.25, and you probably know that. But anyway, it's 2.25 cups. And a baking soda, it's not all in the right order here of the recipe, but it says 1 teaspoon of baking soda. Then our next ingredient is salt. And it says 1/2 teaspoon of salt. So again, I'm going to change, instead of a fraction, I'm going to write it as a decimal. 1/2 teaspoon. For butter, it says 1/4 of a cup of butter. So 1/4 is 0.25 cups. Buttermilk, the recipe calls for 1 cup. For sugar, it's 1/2 a cup of sugar. Baking powder, let me find baking powder, is 2 teaspoons. So we're using those abbreviations that were in that last packet. TSP is for teaspoon. And C, if I wanted to, I could have just written C for cup. Nutmeg is 1/2 teaspoon of ground nutmeg, so 0.5. And an egg is, now here in the spreadsheet here, this little table tells me that 1 egg is the same as 1/4 of a cup. So since I just need 1 egg, I'm going to write 0.25 cups of egg. Now, one thing that it was missing, and I think I added it to your worksheet, is vanilla extract. So right here, vanilla. I don't think you have to do that. I think it's already changed on your worksheet. Vanilla extract, and it was 1 teaspoon. Okay, so basically these are the ingredients that you would have on your spreadsheet. A little bit later on, we're going to need to scale our recipes. So we need to know how much of each ingredient per serving. So you're going to look back at your recipe and see how many servings. In fact, you already should have that on your menu. You're going to see how many servings. Now this particular recipe doesn't really tell me how many servings up at the top. It doesn't say anything, but right here, if you're kind of observant here, you'll see that you're greasing 12 muffin cups. So that's what we must have, is 12 muffins. So I'm going to put 12 servings is how much my recipe is calling for. Now, in order to find out per serving, I have to take these numbers and divide it by how many servings I have. So I'm going to divide by 12 to get this amount. Now, I want you to round all of your answers to 3 decimal places. And we'll do it together here. So 3 decimal places. All right, so for the first one, flour, 2.25 cups. So over here on my calculator, and you guys should have a calculator on your Chromebook, or you can use one on your phone or whatever method you have. So 2.25 cups divided by 12 muffins makes it so that I have 0.1875. Now I said to round it, so to the third decimal place. So since that's a 7, I'll round it up to 8. So I'm going to put 0.188, and that was cups. The second one was 1 teaspoon, so I'll take 1 and divide it by 12 equals 0.083 teaspoons. And you guys can type this in. I don't think you'll have be able to use a pen, but you can type your answers in. Anyway, 0.083 teaspoons for 1 serving. And so anything that has a 1, I'm going to have the same answer. So I'm going to go down here to the buttermilk. And now the units are different. It's cups. Is there anything else that's a 1? This one. Oops. 0.083 teaspoons of vanilla. All right, then we'll do salt. So salt is a half a teaspoon. So I'm going to go 0.5 divided by 12 equals 0.0416. So that would be 0.042 if I rounded it. 0.042. So whenever you're rounding, you go to the third decimal place, which is how far I'm rounding, and I look to the right of that third place, and if the number is 5 or bigger, I make the third place go up 1. If it's less than 5, then I'll keep it the same. So anyway, this one does round up. So it's 0.042. And I'll go down to here. Oh, I should put the unit, teaspoon. And this one is 0.042 cups, though. And this one, 0.042 teaspoon. All right, then I'll do the same thing here for butter. 0.25 divided by 12. It's going to be pretty small. 0.0208. So that 8 makes this go to a 1. So 0.021 cup. And for baking powder, oh, and this one was also a quarter of a cup too, so I'm going to go there. 0.021 cup. Just one more, 2 divided by 12 is 1/6, but what is 1/6 as a decimal? 0.16666 repeating, so that would be 0.16, and the third decimal place would be a 7 because this is bigger than 5. So 0.167 teaspoons. Now, these are obviously really small little amounts for one serving. What we are going to be doing is multiplying it by maybe you're making 200 of these in a week's time. So you're going to be calculating in your menu how many servings of each of your menu items are going to be sold in a week's time. And so you'll scale your recipe up for that. So even though they look small right now, when we multiply it out, it'll be a lot bigger. So that is how you do the per serving proportions, and that's on the first worksheet. The second worksheet that you need to bring up is one where you take 3 of your own entrees. So let me show you that. So you go to 3 of your own entrees. So this is the first one you can see with the picture in it. And you do the same thing. So entree 1, what's the name of your recipe? Where did you find it? How many servings? So that's all on your spreadsheet that you should have handed in last Friday. And if you haven't handed it in, that's your main priority to do next. So you'll need to do the exact same thing we did. Fill in your ingredients, how much in each ingredient, and then divide by the number of servings. So here's where you put in the number of servings. All right, so that is your assignment, and it's due on Friday, so for both classes. So as soon as you get done with the other ones, that's what you should work on next.